Hopefully you can hear me now. I've got the mic volume turned up. Well, what is going on? How is everyone tonight here in the Home Field Advantage community? Hopefully you guys are turning in. It's going to be a fun little quick show. We're setting up some stuff here in the background. But J-Rock and I were talking and just wanted to go over some important dates, some picks, and just kind of recap the draft and team results for who got who. With that being said, I'd like to introduce my, I guess, kind of more long-time guest now because he's made almost every show that we've had. But J-Rock's with us, the commissioner, the founder of Home Field Advantage and HFA. How we doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, pretty good. Thanks for having me, sir.
Absolutely, anytime. So, as we said, you're going to see in the background here, I've got the Discord opened up with the teams and the logos for each team and who's got who. We're going to go over that team draft results, and then we're going to give you kind of the lay of the land with that. We're going to go over some important dates, as I said, and then the last part is our too early to tell predictions and picks for season 1. First, let's start off with those important dates so that it can get out there and everyone can have those important dates. So grab your pens, your paper, and write these down. Put them in your phone, calendar, whatever you got to do to remember them, because these are dates that you're going to want to remember. J-Rock, what do we got?
All right. So what it looks like we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the league created on the 19th, July 19th. And I'll open the league up for everyone to be able to start joining it. I'd like us all to be joined up and filled by at least by the 21st, 22nd. This way we can get underway with getting the league started. What I would like to do is have everyone joined up by the 22nd, 23rd ish in that time frame. And then on the 24th, we would like to open the league up so everybody can set up their scouting boards, and we can issue the challenge stages and do the custom schedules. Once we set our custom schedules, we're going to give everyone 24 hours. And on the 25th, we are going to officially start the league at week 0. So if anyone has a week 0 game, the league will start for you on the 25th, and you will need to have that game played by advanced time on Sunday morning. So I know that's a little bit early. Actually, you know what? We're going to do Sunday afternoon for me. Normally I advance on the pretty much on that morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Northwest. So what I'll do is I'll advance Sunday at noon my time, which will be like 3 o'clock Eastern. So that'll give us a little bit of extra time. But then that's going to put us on our normal advance track for every Sunday and Wednesday going forward. So league creation date is on the 19th. We need everybody joined and filled into the league by the 22nd and the 23rd. On the 24th, we're going to open up the league for everyone to be able to set their recruiting boards. And then on the 25th that evening, we will advance to week 0, and that'll be the start date.
Well, there you have it. Some important dates. Don't forget them. They're important. They'll be posted. With that being said, let's go over these team draft results. We're going to start with Tier 1. And Tier 1 is the SEC, if everybody remembers, or if you forgot. Tier 1 is the SEC. And we've got the Georgia Bulldogs, who belong to Hollow Maniac. The LSU Tigers belong to Roverhead 28. The Alabama Crimson Tide, Bro Jules 21. The Gators, Courageous Beaver. Ole Miss, which is Seahawks, got next. Texas, I don't know how this man got this team. King Savage.
Still draft.
Texas A&M, T. Jenks. Marco with Oklahoma. D-Fry with the Tennessee Volunteers. And Wakanda and Leaf with the Gamecocks from South Carolina. J-Rock, I'm going to let you take over for Tier 2 in the order. We've got the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, so for the Miami Hurricanes, we got Crash Out D. For the Clemson, it looks like we have A. Whitty. And then for Notre Dame, we actually had a trade, And the new owner of Notre Dame is at Steelers, Bills Gators CC at Vipers 3D. For the Florida State, it is Edwards. Also, we know him as Wendell, the FSU Knowles. He's the CC of the league. Virginia Tech went to Longshot. And then Poppy got the SMU Mustangs. Over to the Big Ten now. Big Hurt did not participate in the draft. He's doing the media coverage this year for the HFA and was gifted a Nebraska Hurricanes. So we're going to start with him.
Hurricanes? I mean the Huskers.
The Huskers. Sorry. That H, man, it got me. The Nebraska Cornhuskers. After that, the Ohio State was picked up by A. Feather. Oregon was picked up by Bro 2. Michigan was picked up by Solomon Carter. And then the team that was involved in the trade at Silent Poison picked up Penn State. USC was grabbed by USC, and that is Josh Allen for MVP. And then we had a seventh team. Clayton joined late with his team, but he grabbed UCLA and will be the seventh team in the Big Ten now. All right, for the last side, Hurt, I'm going to turn the Big 12 over to you.
So in the Big 12, we've got the Arizona State Sun Devils will be owned and operated by G Money. The Kansas State Wildcats by Eric Jordan. Thick and Quick out in Colorado, representing Dion and the company. Texas Tech Red Raiders by the one and only Mr. J-Rock, the founder commissioner of the league. Utah is going to be AJB. The Baylor Bears, Dr. Winslow. Mr. Dantastic is going to be out west in BYU country, supporting the Mormons. And then the Arizona Wildcats go to Jake. All I can say about this, Silent Poison, with you getting your team, the Penn State Nittany Lions, you better play every single game and be very active. And the guy that traded you for Notre Dame, you owe him big time. But, that's an interesting draft results there. Lots of good teams, lots of good matchups. Sets up for a really nice, fun first season and multiple seasons to come. Let's go ahead and dive in with the lay of the land, the team draft picks, all that stuff. Let's dive in. I'm going to have you start first with the ACC and the Big Ten and give me your top two teams from each conference.
All right. So for me this year, I've kind of got Oregon in my crosshairs as a team that might do some damage. After going and looking at their schedule, they actually only have 2 user games, and they're gonna have to they're gonna want to schedule someone. They don't have to, but they have a chance to basically have a 2 user game and walk all the way to the Big Ten championship. Outside of Oregon, just because of their ease of schedule, I've actually got the Nebraska Cornhuskers picked. I've got you, Big Hurt. You were teeter-tottering on Tier 1, Tier 2 on the last cycle that we all played. So you have a good enough skill set to hang with tier one, but you're like right at the top of the list of tier one. And I feel like just as a user and having Dylan Raiola, a 5-star quarterback, that gives you a pretty good chance. But it's anyone's game in the Big Ten. So those are my picks for there. For the ACC, I'm looking at the FSU Knowles. I feel like he's a strong user. He can do some damage. It's really going to depend on, I guess, his vacation time. Honestly, he might get hurt by him being out of town a little bit. But I do know with him being out of town, as well as I do know in the rules that if someone's out of town, we do allow fair sim for those games, but we don't allow it for multiple weeks. So it just depends on if he has a user in that time period or not, if he gets a loss on that record. But he is a pickup there for me. And then someone who's got me really intrigued, I've got 2 teams I'm actually going to give you. At Crash Out D, the user that helped me bring him in pretty much told me that he could easily play in tier 1, but he's going to come in and play as tier 2, and which I prefer that. I'd like to see him dominate and then earn his way into tier 1 to play with those guys if that's the case. So I'm really interested in seeing that story. And then the other story is Bama, A. Whitty. Or Clemson, the A. Whitty user. He plays in my baseball league, and before SDS decided to accidentally delete it this year, he was number 2 in the league. And to me, that's pretty impressive. And we've had a few of the baseball guys come over and do really well. And we've had a few of the football guys go over there and do okay. But he went over there and he just blew it out of the water. So, yeah, those are my 2 picks for those 2 conferences. All right, let's hear yours for the Big Ten and the ACC.
I'll start off with the ACC. I think anytime somebody can get their hands on a team like Miami out of the box is going to be a fun, interesting team. Plus, you're going to have the recruiting bed of South Florida, and you can recruit all the way up into the Central Florida and stuff like that as well. But Florida being a home state, I think Miami is a really, really solid team. The one thing about college football that I think a lot of people think about is just the team and the user. The thing about Miami that kind of holds me back just slightly, though, is the quarterback play. Carson Beck is, obviously a stud, but not as mobile as some of the other guys out there. So I'd be interested to see how he plays that, because he's got the backup quarterback, Matt Chadwick, who's actually got a little bit of speed. But with that being said, Miami's loaded. They got good running backs. They got some good receivers. Offensive line's good. Defense is solid. So this is a solid team. If you give a solid user a solid team, and like I said, we only have what we know to go off of, but I think Miami is probably one of the better teams in the ACC. And with that being said, I really like Wendell with Florida State, but knowing that he could be out and traveling and then taking some fair sims and stuff, if that's the case, he potentially just might miss out on some games, and that might put him behind the 8 ball. So I'm going to go with a hard pick between Clemson and Notre Dame. And I'm going to stick with Clemson because I think Clemson's built really well. It's a team that I actually really like playing with personally. They got the quarterback Klubnik, and he's kind of a dual threat, but can also really do well from the pocket. And then running back wise, they have 4 running backs that you can kind of pick from, all being different styles for bruising type of play to playmakers to backfield threats and stuff. So but their receiving room is really deep, and I like that. Then on the defensive line, you've got two playmakers and T.J. Parker and Peter Woods. And anytime you get two guys like that, you can just wreak havoc on mobile quarterbacks, pocket quarterbacks, shut down the running game, all that. So Clemson's a really good team for me. I think that is why I think I have A. Whitty and Clemson and crash out DU in Miami. But it'll be interesting, and it could be anyone's game. Moving over to the Big Ten, Ohio State is absolutely loaded as a team and really good like players from top to bottom, every position, both sides of the ball. I just have never played A. Featherstone, so that's one thing that I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. I do think Bro 2, knowing a little bit about him, Oregon, I think is the guy that we have to watch out for. And then also, I think Silent getting Penn State is going to be an interesting pick. For me, if I had to pick two, I would probably go – really, it's just going to come down to, like, if I can move the ball, I think I'll be in the mix of things. I have to play Michigan. I have to play Penn State. But those are like my two big user games, and so we'll see. I've been enjoying the game so far, so I do feel confident, and I'll put myself up there. But I would say either Penn State or Oregon would be the other team out of the Big Ten, and I think either one of those guys or both of them and me being a close third is really what is going to come down for the Big Ten. But it's going to be an interesting division and conference to watch because basically the best 7 teams got taken. And you got the LA battle with UCLA and USC. You got the Ohio State Michigan battle. And then you got the out west. Oregon's the strongest team really with USC. But then Penn State being one of the top teams in the game. So it'll be interesting to see how this really pans out because I think it could be anyone's game, really, on how it opens up. But if I had to pick, those would be my picks on how that shakes out. Let's turn over to the SEC and the Big 12. We'll start with the Big 12, save the SEC for the last. Since you're in the Big 12, I'm going to have you go second. And I'll do my picks for the Big 12 first. With the Big 12, this is really a wide open conference. I'm really excited to see, one, how Tier 3 plays out with the parity that we have and the way this league kind of set up and how it shakes out. The team that I'm most interested about is the Arizona State Sun Devils. I think the quarterback Sam Leavitt coming back gives this team really a strong case to be the favorite in the division. But they also have skill players. But defensively is where I think they might lack a little bit. And that's why my picks, I'm going to go with the Kansas State Wildcats and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Kansas State has the ability to play ball control with the running game that they have. And the defense that they have, they can get those stops. Offensively, Avery Johnson being a mobile quarterback and Dylan Edwards being a really good fast back. You can run pretty much in between the tackles and outside. Joe Jackson being a backup running back as well can also run the ball pretty effectively. So you have a 1-2 punch for the wear and tear system. They actually have a third back, Gabe Irvin, who's a former Nebraska running back. So you really, like I said, can spread it around with the wear and tear system and keep backs fresh. They have a playmaker out on the edge in Jace Brown. But this is going to be a ball control team. Use the tight ends, run the ball, control the clock, play good defense. And I think that's why I have Kansas State being a top team in this league. They have the really strong Mike linebacker in Austin Romaine and some fast corners. And so I think Kansas State is the number 2 team in this conference. The top team, in my opinion, is the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And the reason I have that is they're got like I want to say like 92 defensive rating. And but looking at the offensive side of the ball, Texas Tech also has some playmakers in Byron Morton, the quarterback, being an 87. Not the fastest guy, but he can move. But you also have Mitch Griffiths behind him that is a little bit faster. So you can use the mobile game a little bit. But then the running back, Quentin Joyner, is a stud, and Jacoby Williams is also another pretty good back. Joyner's got a little bit more strength, whereas Joyner's going to be more of like your shifty, small, elusive back. But you got 90-plus speed on both of them. And then receiving room, they've got some big targets, possession guys, 6'4", 6'3", but they've got a little bit of speed as well from Hudson, who's the All-American freshman at an 83 overall. And a couple tight ends that can stretch the field. And this offensive line is pretty solid. But like I said, the defensive play, you got 2 defensive ends, one led by David Bailey, who's a really strong pass rusher. And then the linebacker play is solid, decent corners and safeties. So I think this, when it comes down to it and being able to get a key stop, Texas Tech is going to be the top team in the Big 12 for me. J-Rock, go ahead and take over and give me your picks, top 2, or sorry, we're doing top 3. And so, yeah, then I would say for me, Arizona State could be that team, but I'm actually going to jump over and go to Thick and Quick and give it to him at number 3 with Colorado. I absolutely hate Colorado personally, but I think Colorado has really strong quarterback play. Caden Salter, the dual threat guy, 90 speed, but then they have Julian Lewis, who's a freshman at 79 overall. Some of their skill guys have graduated and moved on, but they still have decent guys. They got a decent offensive line, and defensively, again, not the greatest, and that's why they fall below Texas Tech and Kansas State, but they still got playmakers. I think Thick and Quick finds a way and puts himself in that number 3 spot in this conference, with Arizona State, in the mix pretty much all the way around. But those would be my top 3. J-Rock, take it over and give me your top 3 for the Big 12.
Gotcha. So I'm not going to put these in any particular order because you pretty much talked about Arizona State as one of the teams that I had picked. Colorado was one of the teams that I had picked. Caden Salters and company. Plus, I think just with I played with Thick and Quick over the seasons, and I feel like in this conference he might have a little bit of an edge with that team. It's going to be interesting to see him and Jordan at Kansas State play, but I don't know, man. I just feel like it's going to be Colorado's season. But I am going to talk about another team that would be in that mix for me, and that's going to be the Utah Utes, and that's going to be AJB. He's recommended to me a couple of users in here that he felt like is tier 1, tier 2 kind of material, which makes me wonder about his skill set. He says that he's tier 3, but I'm ready to see what he's going to bring to the table. And also, when you look at that Utah Utes team, you've got Devon Dampier out there as their quarterback, who's pretty quick. When we talk about quarterbacks in the Big 12, we talk about a quarterback having speed's the name of the game, and he's got that down. And then he's also got a couple of linemen, a few linemen actually. He's got a nice right tackle in Fano, and he's got left tackle in Lomu, and then he's got a nice little left guard in Togia. So he's got a pretty nice little core that's going to be out there in front of him. And he doesn't really have a lot of big time targets down the field, but he does have some help out of the backfield with Wayshawn Parker. And then that defense on the other side, he's going to be premiering Landry Barton, Smith Snowden at cornerback. He's going to have a nice little Russian edge. So he's going to have it on all 3 levels. He's going to have some Russian edges. He's got a couple of nice little linebackers and Levani Demooney. So it's at all three levels, and plus his defensive lines. It's not going to be a walk in the park against that team. They'll be able to get some stops when they need to, and that's going to be interesting to see, especially in this Big 12. So for me, I'm going to have Arizona State, Texas, and the Utah Utes as one of those three guys is going to be the winner of this division or this conference.
Yeah, like I said, it could be wide open. It'll be fun to see the parity throughout Tier 3 and how it all shakes out. Let's turn our eyes over to the top one. I think everyone's excited to see the parity, the top dogs battle it out with the top teams. Well, I should say some of the top teams. Ohio State and Miami and Clemson and some of these other guys aren't in that SEC, but you got Georgia, LSU, Bama, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Florida, Ole Miss, quite a few top 10, 15 teams here in this conference. So Tier 1.
I think all of them but one of them are ranked to start the season, and I think that is the Gamecocks.
And then you got Nick Harbor on that team. So
exactly.
For me, I'll let you go first on the SEC.
All right. So for the SEC, man, this one is tough. So me, I'm just going to come out and say it. So Cox Gators, man, this guy won 4 championships, 2 on PS5 and 2 on Xbox. He's going to be my number one team in there for my picks on this. He's going to have DJ Lagway and company. They're going to be able to pass. They're going to be able to run from the quarterback. They can be RPO heavy. They've got a good defense that's coming in to help kind of support this team. And then not only that, Cox Gators himself, man, he's just a gifted user in his own right to go that many seasons and win that many championships. Yeah, they're going to be my number one pick for this conference. After that, everyone else is pretty much in a toss-up. And these guys are in no particular order, but I am going to go talk about one of the guys that I think is going to be in here, and that's going to be Hollow Maniac with the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, this is a team that is defensive loaded. I mean, you're talking about C.J. Allen, Christian Miller, K.J. Bolden, Dalen Everett. And then offensively, these guys are loaded as far as the offense goes. I mean, their quarterback is a junior. He's not like overpowered or hyped, but he's got a good arm on him, and he's got weapons galore. You talk about Nate Frazier out of the backfield. We've got Zachariah Branch, Dylan Bell, Noah Thomas. And then when you look at his tight ends, he's got one of the best tight ends in the game in Oscar Delp. And if you go across and look at that team's offensive line, he's got one of the best offensive lines pretty much in the game. And then when you go and look at his team overalls, I think that team has the highest overalls in the game. But not only that, he's a good user. He won a natty in our very last season with Texas, but he's going to be able to bring his skill case and show that off here in a good division, and I think he's got a good team to actually do that. My next pick outside of that is going to be a guy that hasn't been in the league for a long time, and he's coming back and joining us, and that's going to be Marco. And he's going to have Oklahoma, the Sooners. This guy had actually his first season in the league had went all the way to the Natty, beat one of our really good users with a really good team, and then lost in the Natty in the very last seconds on a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So this guy could very well run all the way through the SEC with this team. But then when you look at this team, You've got John Mateer. Then he's got Jaden Ott. And then you got to look at who he's throwing to. He's got Dion Burks. And then he's got Jaden Gibson. So as far as this team's like talent goes offensively, I mean, they've got a great offense. They're not much in the tight end category. It's going to be more about to their receivers, but they've got a young core at offensive line that's going to be pretty good. Nice young guys that are going to end up maturing and being actually a really good offensive line. Then as far as like their defensive line goes, you've got Marvin Jones and Mason Thomas to handle up on the edges. And then you've got an actual deep roster, so that wear and tear system with Adopchi Adobwari. Man, you can't get any better than that as far as the team goes. And then when you look at his secondary, he's got some pretty good guys back there. He's got Eli Bowen, who's only going to be a sophomore, who's fast. And then you've got Dolby, and another guy that I'm really excited about him having is Gentry Williams, just because he's one of the fastest cornerbacks in the game. But he's one of my picks. And then the last pick that I really have for the SEC is going to be King Savage. And this man got a monster of a pick in the SEC at number 5, coming in with the Texas Longhorns. I mean, you're talking about a team that has Arch Manning as the quarterback, and he's only a sophomore. So this guy's going to be set to go for plenty of seasons. And then when you look at the receiving core that he's going to be having Manning throw to, they're all young. You've got Moore Jr., Wingo, Lockett, Mosley. None of those guys are seniors. All of them are I think sophomore and below, if I'm not wrong. Well, maybe Moore. I think Moore might be a little bit older. He might be a junior or a senior. But when you look at their tight end play as well, they got Jack Andreas, who's also one of the best tight ends in the game. And then across their offensive line, they're loaded too. And then when you go to their defense, man, this is Texas. Let's not play. These guys got Colin Simmons to anchor the edge for them. Like, he's going to cause so much disruption in the backfield. It's like it almost doesn't matter who their cornerback play is, because they're going to get some bad passes that are thrown over the middle that they're going to get to feed on. And then let's talk about the middle of the field with Anthony Hill Jr. He's going to feast in the middle of the field just because of that pressure that's being put on there. And then he's going to generate pressure, and then he's going to cover that interior, those crossing routes and those tight ends trying to get open. I mean, this is just going to be a really gifted team. So, but yeah, those are my 4 picks for the SEC. Herd, I'll turn it over to you for your 4.
Tier 1. This one's going to be a fun one, and I can't wait to see how this plays out. I can literally probably throw everybody's name in a hat, pull it out, and be like, yeah, I could see them doing pretty well. But for the sake of picking 3 teams and why I picked these 3 teams, I'm going to go with my team that finishes 3rd. I'm going to say is King Savage. I think King Savage with Texas is going to be a dynamite team. They're gifted at every position, both sides of the ball. The thing about Texas that I think King Savage is going to have maybe a little bit of a struggle, and thankfully for this league, when you're playing him, is he's not going to have a quarterback like he had last year at Ohio State. Archie Manning is mobile, but it's not like a 90-plus speed guy. And so I think for me, that's like Manning's good, but I don't know that he's as mobile as somebody like Marcel Reed or Caden Salter, or somebody that just has that extra little oomph on the speed attribute. That would be scary with him. TJ Lagwa is another one. But the running back also, Jaden Blue is moving on. He's got C.J. Baxter and stuff. So I'm interested to see what he does with the running back room. But I just feel like there's the top guy, Wisner. I'm not as sold on him in real life. So I'll be interested to see who he starts, because Wisner is the best guy with the change of direction, the break tackle, and everything. But I think Baxter and Jarrett Gibson are both better backs for what could be. I think the number 2 team in my book is hard. Actually, Ryan, I would say Ole Miss is a team that I really do like. But the only reason I left Ole Miss out of the picture for me, to be honest, is you graduated a Jackson Dart at quarterback, and the running back room isn't like, I mean, you got a power back in Damian Taylor. But I just feel like you're in the SEC, you are going to be struggling with the quarterback play and maybe the running back not being able to run certain things, stretch plays. We're going to be more of a power run. And all these teams like Georgia, Bama, Texas, they're going to have dogs that can play inside and out. So you got to be able to like stretch the field and try and make these guys play with like a nickel wide or something and give you a lane in the run game. So that was the only reason I took my. Plus the offensive line is solid, but like comparing it to some of these other teams, the offensive line play is not up to par. But Ole Miss is a good team, and that's why I said I think if I threw your name in a hat and pulled it, I could say, yeah, I could see it happening. But going back, so I got Texas at 3. The number 2 team, I'm actually going to go with the Florida Gators, and it's just because, like J-Rock said, J-Rock is talking about, you know, someone who took South Carolina and Florida last year, won the championships. He's obviously understands the game of college football, the land, and how the game works with the mobility of the running backs and receivers and getting your playmakers the ball. Florida is now a better team this year. G.J. Lagway is way more seasoned in this game than he was in 25. And Florida now has some absolute skill guys on the outside at the receiver spot. And so you give him a quarterback like Lagway at a 90 overall with 88 speed, and then Wilson, Sturdivant, and Brown and Mizell. There's 5'6". Hawkins is a 97 speed. Like, they've got speed, but they've also got a couple guys that's 6'3", in Wilson and Sturdivant. So I just think Florida is definitely going to be a tough matchup. They got a 6'8" tight end that, yeah, he's only got 70 speed, but, like, can you imagine blocking? He's 271 pounds. Their backup tight end number 2 is 260 pounds. Like, I mean, they can just run it down your throat with a couple of these guys. But the offensive line for Florida is pretty strong, but then their defense is really good as well. So I got Florida coming in at number 2. My top team is going to go to Bro Jules and the Alabama Crimson Tide. And the reason I say that is I played Bro Jules last year when he had USC. Zachariah Branch was an absolute problem, and he recruited really well with USC and built a really good team. I think Bro Jules understands how to put guys in certain positions and utilize like skill players, and he's got one of the best skill guys in the game of in the world of college football right now, and that man's name is Ryan Williams. So you give him a Ryan Williams this year, who's basically a way more seasoned Zachariah Branch. That's going to be nuts. So I just think Ryan Williams is going to be the difference maker for me in a guy like Bro Jules' hands. The quarterback play, he's got a couple guys he can pick from. 2 guys that got some speed, and either Ty Simpson or Keelan Russell. Russell being the freshman, dual threat would be the guy that I'd probably lean towards. But Ty Simpson slightly, just a little bit better. And then you have Austin Mack, who's also a sophomore. So I'll be interested to see what he does. But like I said, if it was me, I'd be leaning towards Keelan Russell for my sake. But then he's got a couple of running backs, Deere, Young, Jam Miller. But then the receiving room is just stupid. Ryan Williams, Bernard, Hale, Horton, Mbakwe with 97 speed. Cole Adams got good speed. Like they got a deep receiving room. But their offensive line, they have 3 guys in the 90s. And the 2 guys that are not in the 90s are in the 80s. So this offensive line is just stacked. So they're going to be able to block up better than pretty much any other team. And then Bama's got the defensive guys back. So they got a stud defensive tackle in Tim Keenan the third, 325 pounds with 96 strength. And then you got defensive ends that can set the edge. You got linebackers that can – with 87 and 89 speed. Corner, Domani Jackson has 96 speed, and he's an 89 overall. So, yeah, this team's going to be really good. I think Bro Jules comes out on top for me. Too early to tell, but if I had to pick somebody, I'm going with Bama to reign king in the SEC. And just kind of a recap, Florida 2, Texas 3. But I could throw in Marco. Texas A&M is probably my favorite team so far to play with in the game. Ole Miss, South Carolina's got, and then not even to mention LSU's got an absolute solid team. I'm just not a big fan of Nussmeier at quarterback, but he's got a really good team. Running back is absolutely stupid good. Receiving room's really good, and the defense is good. So I could see LSU there as well. But that kind of wraps up our picks for the predictions and what we got. So I'm going to turn it back over to J-Rock. You can go ahead and throw out any other information you need and kind of wrap us up.
Yeah. All right, guys. So pretty much once we get the league started, this whole next week, you're going to be hearing a lot from me in the channels. I'll be asking you guys about your player picks for the Dev League, who you want your rookie to be, or who you want your player in college football to be that we're going to keep track of, keep watch of their stats so you can earn a Dev trade if you're playing Madden with us. So be on the lookout for that next week. Or this upcoming, next week. And then also be getting ready for the league to be created, for the channel to be updated, and for us to start getting the league filled. Again, those dates for the creation is going to be on the 19th. We want everyone into the league by the 22nd, 23rd. On the 24th, we're going to go and open it up to the scouting boards. And then on the 25th at 7 p.m. Pacific Northwest time, we're going to officially go to week 0. So that's our upcoming calendar. Just for you guys to know, I'll write this out in the Discord as well. It might not be tonight, but do know that this is the schedule that we're fixing to be rolling out. You'll be able to find these videos on Big Hurt's page and also on the Home Field Advantage page. Everybody also go give Hurt's page a follow and go subscribe to his page so you can keep up with the live broadcast. And then for all league games and all the videos, if you don't really care to watch anything live, go subscribe to the Home Field Advantage YouTube page. Where we will be putting all these videos during the season. All right, that's all I got, Hurt. Back to you, brother.
Hey, I appreciate it. Like J-Rock said, make sure you guys stay tuned. Lots of information and action to be covered in the coming weeks as we get started. With Home Field Advantage, we've got multiple different titles that we are offering for you, or I should say J-Rock and the community offers for you, is Madden. We got college football. We also have NBA, MLB. There was at one point even golf going. So if you get in here and you find a buddy or somebody that you like to play games with that has similar tastes, it's a fun community. If you're someone that's not a part of this, definitely reach out, give someone a follow, or give someone a like, and get in contact with somebody so we can get you in and you can be a part of this community. It's competitive, it's fun, not super aggressive on an advanced schedule, but I'm a part of a couple other leagues as well, and this one ranks right up there, and it's a really fun league, really structured well, and communication is high. So I feel like those are big keys for communities and leagues these days. So give us a like, give us a follow. Myself, I'm just the media guy. J-Rock is the guy that runs it all. But I'll share these videos with the Home Field Advantage YouTube page. And any questions, like I said, let us know. I appreciate anybody who is subscribing, so you guys don't miss a beat as I cover all of this information and the league action as we get underway. But with that being said, I don't got anything else. Until next time, I appreciate you guys. You have a wonderful night, and peace. All right, we are all good.